A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Tonight we are going to focus on India's data economy and the food tech industry. From infrastructure to innovation, we first decode what it takes to reimagine legacy through the lens of technology and trust. In the first segment, I'm going to be joined by Keshav Reddy, founder of Equal and the youngest member of the GVK Reddy family, who has charted his own path beyond infrastructure by building a high-tech API-first platform. In the second segment, I'll be in conversation with Sagar Daryani, co-founder and CEO of Momo, about the evolution of India's QSR space and how the brand is pushing boundaries through innovation. Keshav, thank you so much for joining us today. Pleasure having you.
Thank you, Ritwika, for having me on the show.
Now, Keshav, you come from a legacy infrastructure background, but you have chosen to build a high-tech API-first data sharing platform. So what inspired this pivot from airports to APIs?
So thank you for that. I started my career in GVK in our airports business. And while I worked there in different parts of the business in BD, in commercial and finance, that gave me a deep appreciation for scale, for the value we're building and nation building for India. But I always knew that I wanted to start something of my own and build something for scale of India and solve a problem statement. So it just very naturally came to me when I was building my own company after I came back from MIT that data sharing is a problem statement.
Right.
And wanted to build that for making it easier for Indians to get access to credit, healthcare, housing, and make their life easier. So that's how Equal started, and it was very beautifully a transition from physical infrastructure to digital infrastructure.
Now, as far as I understand, Equal sits at the intersection of identity, compliance, and trust. If you could tell us, what core problem were you trying to solve when you initially launched Equal, and has that vision evolved over the years?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we started Equal, this was in 2022. We saw how UPI had taken off after demonetization and after COVID. We knew that data sharing was very broken. Today, people are sharing data very informally using communication platforms. So we knew that there has to be a better way to do this. And most people were doing it because they had a need. They had a need for credit, for insurance, for housing, for travel. So we realized that building a secure platform that enables seamless and consent-based data sharing was the idea. And the India Stack had done a fabulous job by building all the rails and giving the right to the customers to enable that. So we have built in partnership on top of the India Stack for seamless sharing of data. Obviously, the products, the way it's perceived has changed over the years.
Right.
But we've been building with the highest level of regulatory compliance and enabling easy sharing of data between a consumer and a business. So I'm happy to say today, actually, we support 80 million Indians and are sharing 1 billion data packets a year for giving access to some form of value to the end user.
Now, in a country as diverse and complex as India, how does Equal ensure accuracy, security, and interoperability across so many data sources?
India is massive, but one of the things that I'm very proud of working in partnership with the India Stack, they've done really well, is built a seamless layer on top of the entire country. No matter where you are from or which part of India you're from, you have an Aadhaar. Right, there's 98% coverage of Aadhaar, in the age category above 18 years old or even higher. So today that is seamless. With your phone number or with your fingerprint, you're able to get access to your Aadhaar. They've done that for different cohorts. If you're a taxpayer, the PAN is the identifier. If you're a local driver, you use driver's license. And I'm happy to state that Equal, with its brand One Money, is the largest account aggregator in the country. And we were the first ones and the largest. And it's very exciting that the country has built all these data layers that have been made seamless. And as an Indian, I can get access to it very easily. I'd also like to add in health. ABBA, the health stack. We're one of the largest creators of health IDs, and obviously, when Prime Minister Modi launched that during COVID, we obviously built a lot of use cases with that, and that continues to scale up very, very well.
And well, coming from the GVK family, how has that legacy perhaps influenced your approach to innovation and leadership?
I think I'm fortunate, blessed to come from a family that has built some of the most important infrastructure projects in India. Today, all the airports in India, which are beautiful, were designed or built by GVK, which is Mumbai Airport, Bangalore Airport, even the new terminal was all built by us, amongst many others. And one of the things I realized then is we used to plan in decades, not in quarters or in years. So that's one of the things that's really instilled in me is long-term thinking. My father or my grandfather, they always thought about legacy and building, doing right for India and building the best product for India. So that's something which is something that's ingrained in me. So building high quality product for India, and finally execution. In many of the businesses that we're in, execution is key in India. So even at Equal, we have gone from zero transactions 3 years ago when we were founded to 1 billion transactions today in 3 years, which is mind blowing. And I think we'll be growing at this pace or even faster over the next few years.
Right, and how do you see Equal contributing to the larger India growth story in terms of shaping a safer and more inclusive financial system?
India's financial system and ecosystem is transforming significantly with access to data digitally, which is your income documents, which is your investment documents, your income tax returns, your transaction data, and One Money, our product, our account aggregator, is leading the way in a lot of that. So today you will not even realize that we have over 300 institutions using us for many use cases. So for India, the growth story, we are super excited. We're building a lot of products for modern India. And that's why we've been recognized and selected by World Economic Forum as they are the technology pioneers, where 100 global companies leading tech.
Keshav, you're also an investor. How has your experience as an investor shaped how you approach product and scaling at Equal?
When you're an investor, your perception and your thought process is very different. And when you're an entrepreneur, it's very different. I've been fortunate that not only have I had both hats while I was, in my 15-year journey, but I've also been an operator. I've ran multiple businesses. I've ran at that time India's largest airports operator, and then for a couple of years I ran India's second largest contract research pharma company. So running a company, being an entrepreneur, building a company, and investing in companies, having the perception of all three helps us navigate and helps me navigate through a lot of the challenges and opportunities that we face. So invaluable. I think it's absolutely invaluable. Stay close to your user, build for scale, don't compromise on quality, ensure regulatory compliance ahead of time. I think those are the values that I've taken, which have helped me in building a business.
Now, this season, our theme is Agility, Ambition, Ascent. Given today's world of economic uncertainty, evolving regulations, and fast changing technology, how would you define these three words by way of advice for emerging entrepreneurs?
For all those entrepreneurs watching today, it has never been more dynamic in this world. With the advent of AI, things are moving week on week, not how it used to be month on month or year on year. So agility is probably the most important trait that you need today. And it's the opportunities are significant, because if you take advantage of it and you are actually ensuring you're moving ahead of the herd and ahead of everybody, then you'll be able to capture a lot more value. So I would say you'll hear a lot about what we're doing in AI. We're probably one of the leading application AI companies in India. In terms of ambition, I think there is no other way but to think of scale for India. And from day one, I've always said I want to build something that 100 million Indians use daily. And that is the vision, that is the purpose of what we're building for. And finally, Ascent. I think, solve a real pain point in this world and deliver value, and people will take it. So and always keep leapfrogging. We started the company as a KYC company. Then we leapfrogged to being a data sharing company, which is a much larger space. Then after that, we realized that we want to solve a lot more pain points for this world and for India. So we're now becoming an AI company. And it's not just an AI company. Our core product we're launching will become an AI product, which is an AI assistant for India. So very exciting times, and really excited that your team aligns very well with Equal's goals and the way we operate.
And finally, Keshav, what is your long-term vision for Equal?
So our long-term vision for Equal is that over the next 3 to 5 years, we aim to serve 250 million Indians. And today we are at a billion transactions. We want to get to about 50 billion transactions. Apart from that, we are launching this year the most exciting product for India, which is an AI assistant for India. More to come, but it will help you make your life easier and happier when you need any access to credit, healthcare, and any services. And finally, I think we want to be one of the defining companies of India in this generation. So if these three goals are met in the next 3 to 5 years, then we build something and succeed in execution.
Well, all the very best to you, Keshav. This was an incredible conversation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ritwika. Really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. In this segment, we get chatting with Sagar Daryani, co-founder and CEO Wow Momo, about lessons from scaling a homegrown brand and what it takes to stay agile in a changing consumer landscape. Welcome to the show, Sagar. Good to have you.
Thank you, Ritwika, for having me here, and hi to all the folks out there watching us.
So, Sagar, as one of the early movers in India's QSR space, how do you view the evolution of the Indian consumer and the overall landscape today?
See, I think the Indian consumer has just gone smarter by the day. I think the advent of internet and the usage of internet has really helped that. The consumer is today aware. The consumer is aware of value. I think the consumer definitely wants more convenience.
Right.
The consumer is more aware. So brands are going out of the way to justify as to why the consumer should endorse them, should use them, and I think loyalty is a big aspect which is becoming more and more important. So the consumers want to be loyal, they want to be heard, and as long as they are getting, I mean, they're given the right kind of service and product, I think the trust factor is built in, and you see a lot of brand loyalist patrons coming out there. So I think the Indian consumer is just getting smarter by the day, like I said, and it's good for the future for all of us, for the consumer centric brands, because I think India's population is its biggest strength, and we have a very young population. So catch them young and grow with them is the mantra that I think consumer businesses need to look at.
So on that note, tell us about your latest innovation, the gluten-free Momo range. What inspired this launch?
At Wow, we've always believed in inclusivity. It's like even when we recruit people, I think we were the first QSR chain to ever hire and recruit transgenders. And today, hundreds of transgenders work with us. So that's a matter of pride for us. So I think inclusivity has always been there. And a lot of our consumers wanted options without gluten. A lot of people are gluten intolerant.
Sure.
At the same time, a lot of people also want to avoid the white flour or the brown flour because of health concerns. They feel that they want a more healthier version. So Momo being a steamed food and gluten-free being absolutely perfect for the gut is how I would put it. I think it becomes like a diet Momo, it becomes like a healthy Momo. So I think we are walking the talk when it comes to not perception of health, but real health selling. And today the consumer has the option to choose what they want to.
Sure.
Today you can order a gluten-free momo at a click of a button. So I wouldn't say it's a more healthier version. I think even the stream momos that we today serve are quite healthy and good to go. It is just that, the consumer who's very particular about, what intake of what calorie or what intake of what ingredients they're doing, I think we have an option for them also.
So, Sagar, I'm assuming a lot of experimenting went into creating these new gluten-free momos. So, in that case, how do you balance experimentation without alienating your core mass market audience?
So, for us, I think what's very important is not what you keep adding onto the menu, but also what you keep removing from the menu. And I think a lot of data goes into, understanding that. Also, I think we launch a lot of products by the trends that are happening. And then there are also products that we launch to set the trend. I think as an entrepreneur, my job is to set the trend. But net, I think for us, R&D is a very big aspect of our growth. I think
Right.
Wow Momo has been known for its innovations. We were the first to create a Momo burger. We were first to create a chocolate Momo. We were the first to, go out there and do pan-fried momos, chili momos, sizzler momos. So I think for us, innovation has been at a core. When it comes to such kind of product launches, what we do is we do a consumer dipstick. We go out there, we do sampling with the consumer. So the first thing of the consumer dipstick is to hear what the consumer wants. And from our research, we got to know that a lot of people in the metro cities were looking at options without gluten, right? And
Right.
that's when we went and launched these gluten-free momos, which is the outer dough is made with quinoa and with chickpea.
Now, with delivery platforms booming and retail formats still critical for brand building, how are you approaching the phygital QSR model, especially in Tier 2 and Tier 3 India?
So, people talk about omni-channel. I think at Wow, we believe that omni-channel is a thing of the past. It's more about multi-channel, where you need to be visible anywhere and everywhere where the consumer can have you for convenience. And that's what you see with the advent of quick commerce. The traction that quick commerce is getting is largely because of convenience. So I think tier one and tier two in India obviously operates very differently. Today in a metro city, I would not expect a couple to come on a Valentine's Day and eat onto my momos inside my store. But in a city like a Patna or a city like a Ranchi or a city like a Kadalur in South India, people actually coming to the store, sitting and coming for dates to a Wow Momo store and actually having a good time. So habits have changed drastically. I mean, today we have 200 plus stores in malls, but earlier the footfalls in malls were more consistent because the multiplexes would ensure that crowd keeps coming every weekend. But that has changed now, right? People are watching more content because of OTT at home. That's when we digressed and we launched FMCG
Sure.
momos, convenient momos. So eating in at home has become a very big market, or the ready to eat has become a very big market, where between your Zoom calls, in your house parties, if you're falling short of food, you just want to take out some food which is readily available. I mean, for me, Maggi is a role model brand. I mean, you can't
Absolutely.
replace Maggi in India, but what can be the next best thing available to Maggi, which can be instant? And that's when we launched instant frozen momos, which for us has become a great start. I mean, when we began, there was a competition which was doing 4x of our revenue. We were zero. And today, I think we are almost 80% of our competition. So we've never given ourselves the stamp of being a physical business or a QS or a phygital business or a QSR business. I think we're a food business and we're trying to make food available through varied platforms. So I think that's the goal, to be multi-channel,
Sure.
and you will see different avenues that we try to build from the product. We believe that for us, Momo is the hero product when it comes to Wow Momo. When it comes to Wow Kulfi is the hero product. When it comes to Wow Chicken, we are growing that really aggressively. That becomes the hero product. I think it's about making the products available to different people through different platforms and being visible as Wow, which then becomes part of their lives, and they get glued to a particular brand. The trust factor builds in, and then when you do new launches, it just becomes more easier to to take that new product to the consumer, because the consumer trusts your basic product, your basic vertical, so they are more glued to come and try that new product.
So, Sagar, our season 13 is themed around agility, ambition, and ascent. At a time when global volatility is affecting hyperlocal businesses, how are you ensuring agility in your strategy to stay ambitious? And as an extension, what advice would you have for entrepreneurs to survive and scale in today's India?
See, I've always believed that what's got you till here will not get you till there. I think the success of Wow has been that we've always reinvented ourselves. We've been very agile. The food industry as a whole, has completely transformed from when we started to where we are today. So, when demonetization happened, we moved from
Sure.
accepting cash to completely going cash free. And today, when COVID happened, people got so glued to ordering food via the apps that today 50% of our revenue comes through the apps, whereas before COVID that was just 10%. Now, when your food has to be ordered, it has to be delivered. There's back-end integration of tech. There is tech being used within the business to project demand. At the same time, you are making the food more easily travelable or accessible to the consumer. So, how do you work on your packaging? How do you work on your logistics? How do you work with delivery partners? So I think this entire business model for us has completely transformed, where today I would say that, more than being a food business, we are a logistical business. We have 750 points of sale and we actually touch every store every day. So, building and doing R&D and, creating different products
Sure.
for different platforms. So I think you have to be agile. You have to
Yep.
you have to revisit yourself. You have to go back to the basics. Now when quick commerce comes in, it was thriving on grocery. So back in the day, 9 months ago, when it was thriving on grocery, I think we were one of the first brands that began to work on how can it thrive on food. And today, we are able to deliver hot momos within 10 minutes. And that's how, you keep to pace. And within keeping to that pace, then you see trends changing. And when trends change, you need to adapt. For example, a year ago, when we planned something for this financial year, we had not factored the K-pop culture coming in and Korean food becoming so savvy that every brand would go out there and do it. But when every brand began to do it, we also could launch it instantly because in our R&D, we had already worked for it. You need to work in the back end, and timing is very important. Doing the right thing at the right time in the consumer business is very, very important. If you're ahead of your time, you don't get the success. If you're behind your time, you lose out. So I think timing is very, very important.
Right, absolutely. And finally, Sagar, tell us, now you set a vow in 2008, 17 years back. When you look back at this point, how close are you to realizing your long-term vision of being India's answer to global fast food chains?
Keeping the global aspiration in mind, we want to be India's answer to McDonald's. We want to be India's answer to Domino's. So we want to be a homegrown brand. So it's like local going vocal, going global. So keeping that in mind, we want to get going with global. So we would be entering into the GCC into Dubai this year.
Right.
And then we are looking at markets like Sri Lanka. We are looking at markets like Nepal and Thailand to get going. This is for the QSR business. However, I feel very happy and very proud to say that our frozen instant momos are already being exported to the GCC. We've just shipped our first consignment to Germany and the UK. It's available in Singapore. So for new age businesses like ours, I think we would continue growing both in domestic as well as in international markets. So, I personally believe that, we want to create a food brand which is operating both in the FMCG space, in the QSR space.
Sure.
We are very clear that, for us, WOW stands for health, hygiene, happiness. The goal today is that, when I started off, I wanted to be in the top 10 cities. Today, by God's grace, I'm in close to 75 cities, but I do aspire of a WOW Momo in Times Square, New York someday.
Well, all the very best to you, Sagar. Thank you for a great conversation. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you, Ritwika. Thank you so much.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.